Eating bugs and seaweed is a great green way to replenish our food supply, eat healthy, and basically feed an extra 2.5 billion extra humans by 2050. Now, this is a really interesting idea. This is something that both Andrew Zimmern and Anthony Bourdain talk about in great deal, or in great extent, I should say, on their television shows on the Travel Channel. I'm always fascinated by it. So you go to certain countries like Thailand, for instance, and they eat insects. And here in, America and other Western cultures, it's disgusting. It's something that people wouldn't even consider.
Well, what I loved about this particular article in Slate, why you should love grasshopper tacos and kelp pasta. It's fabulous. Read the whole article. I loved it. But I love that he notes that about 200 years ago, lobster, which is now a delicacy and quite expensive. Lobster 200 years ago was considered unfit for human consumption and only good enough for prisoners.
No, that is, I always knew that. I
didn't know that.
But here's what I didn't know. This is the incredible part. Back in the day, prisons could only serve inmates lobster twice a week because serving it more than twice a week was deemed cruel and unusual punishment.
And this just shows you
Yeah.
how times have changed. It's really just all a matter of perception. Humanity has survived over eons by finding something, anything to eat enough to stay alive. And that's why these have, in countries where protein is a difficult source, a difficult food to source, that's why, eating insects has become a delicacy. It's actually considered worthwhile. And when you consider our industrial food system, pretty much universally, when you look at the energy inputs and the way that it impacts the environment, both to get the food made and to process it and to distribute it, and then the effects that it has on the population through obesity, our food system right now is unsustainable.
It really is.
This is one of those things that we may be turning toward. We may find that as we try to feed a population of 9 billion by 2050, that this might be where we start going in the United States.
What people don't realize is insects are actually superfoods. And
yeah, they're quite nutritious.
They are nutritious. They're high in protein.
They're crunchy.
They're crunchy, high in protein, low in fat. I mean, it sounds a lot like Greek yogurt.
It does. But they're also low intensity as far as impact, because
Definitely.
the input to industrially produce, I guess, grasshoppers would be a lot less than the input right now for raising industrial farm animals, the factory farming system that we have now. Not just from an emission standpoint, but just from the impact on the earth.
I am absolutely in favor of eating bugs. I've said on the show, and a lot of people are aware of it, I'm willing to try anything. So if somebody brought a tarantula in front of me right now and said, hey, try it, it could be a food source in the coming months, I would definitely try it. But a lot of Americans, I'm looking at you, Desi,
I
as I'm saying this,
know.
and she's cringing. She's like, no, I'm not going to try it. It's disgusting.
Oh, it's a hard one for me. I mean, if they were covered in chocolate, maybe it would be a hard one. But, remember just a few months ago, the issues with Starbucks, as you mentioned before, that, they were using their food coloring in their strawberry frappuccino, I think it was crushed beetles. And the idea that, is that vegan? I don't know if that counts, but they were able to, the backlash that they got from just using what would be considered a natural food coloring, that shows that we have a long way to go.
We have a very long way to go. I don't think this is going to change anytime soon.